Auntie's Podcast, Episode 2. So the show starts off with an unnecessary cat conversation. Tokyo Tony talking about how she ain't using no yoni eggs. Tia say she don't understand the use of lubricant. And Carlissa say she don't even know what douching is all about. Not y'all flexing y'all cat before Netta come out. Then they proceeded to wonder, do Netta use enemas? I knew right then that this ish was about to be a mess, and I was here for it. So Carlissa said that people be telling her that her and Miss Netta look alike. And once she said that, baby, I can't unsee it. Now, I wanted to be fair to the other ladies, so I was sure that I found them a twin too. We didn't want to leave nobody left out. Even Charles, child, he looking like Fat Albert in a fire coming out there. And baby, Tia didn't waste no time letting him know that he was sucked up and snatched up. Old Charles then went and got him some liposuction. He said he got an 8-pack, and you can't tell me Miss Netta ain't ripped him up out the fire a time or two. Now, Miss Netta girl, she say she went and had her a BBL and that she gonna get her a boob lift. Now, am I the only one that noticed that taco meat simmering on Miss Netta's chest? Girl, you know Charles don't care. He probably still hitting her with the stir fry every night. Now, I knew this was going to be a mess. I just didn't know what kind of mess. Now, it started off with Netta telling the girls how she met Charles on a dating site called Tag, and they realized that they was both from the same town in Alabama. Now, before Miss Netta could even finish telling them the story, they start grilling her about her previous relationship, where Miss Netta shared with them that she had been in a relationship for 20 years and a man passed away from a heart attack. And the first thing they asked was he on top of her? Now, Miss Netta checked them real quick and let them know this ain't no color purple, baby, and that she respected that man and his family. Now, the conversation turned real messy real quick because they started telling Miss Netta that girls had been sliding in Charles's DM and that Charles was responding and replying. Now, Miss Netta didn't waste no time checking ish. Child, she let them know, I'm running this over here, baby. All the social medias. I got all the passwords, all access. And then they tried to switch the conversation up real quick to her bag, child. They say Miss Netta be having fake bags. And Netta cleared the air. She said, yeah, I be having fake bags and I have real bags, but I know how to get a bag. I said, okay, Netta. But she said, let's go back to this Instagram stuff. Because, baby, I got the password to Charles' phone and I could get in his phone right now. Miss Netta said the only thing Charles cheat on her with is PlayStation and going to work. And baby, you would have thought Miss Netta was speaking Chinese because they looked so confused and dumbfounded like they had never seen or experienced a man like that. And then Tia just blurts out, who taking the D? And Miss Netta like, who you think taking the D? And Charles is like, oh, it's common sense. Then Tia just blurt out, oh, you don't think he wants some warm cat sometime? Netta said, oh, he probably do. And guess what? I got it for him. I got it all. I satisfy my man all the way. I said, oh, okay, Miss Netta. Then Tia gonna say, oh, if you let him out that hotel room, I bet I could get a bee to get him dry tonight. And I said to myself, I think you the bee that's trying to get him dry tonight, Tia, because I done seen your baby daddy Ricky Ross and Charles look a whole lot better than old Officer Ricky. Tia, we know you like a big back, but we gonna need you to go head on and back up off of Charles. So Tokyo Tony tried to take control of the conversation, and you know she tried to segue to something else, and she started asking him about their surgery, and baby, that went left quick. So Tokyo Tony asked Miss Netta, does her BBL cause any issues in the bedroom when Charles back there giving her the stir fry? And Miss Netta said no, and then Carlissa wanted to know, did she get her ding dong turned into a ho-ho? And Miss Netta said, no, we still slanging around here. Now, she looked like she was about ready to rip him out the fire when they started talking about his six-pack. And Charles was making sure that he corrected them. He said, I ain't got no six-pack. Who got a six-pack? I got an 8-pack. And the aunties was begging to see it. And Miss Netta said, oh no, that ain't going down, baby. And then Tia just yell out and say, do y'all got an OnlyFans? And Miss Netta like, no, we ain't got no OnlyFans. And Tia like, y'all can make millions. And something tell me that Tia, she would get her a little subscription going if she could, if they did have one. Then Tokyo Tony, she tried to take control of the conversation again. And she asked Miss Netta, how do you deal with haters? Now, Miss Netta was trying to explain herself, but before you knew it, that conversation jumped right back to Instagram, and she told Carlissa, you keep telling me about your sister was in his DM. Let's clear this up right now. And even Charles started getting mad. He started telling Carlissa like, oh, go get their phone. Go get their phone. You want to be messy? She want to be messy? Yeah, let's go ahead on and prove this. And then Carlissa, she's like, oh, y'all married? Y'all really married? And Miss Netta like, yeah, I know you didn't see the marriage certificate. You didn't see the marriage license. And meanwhile, Charles is still on Carlissa's neck. He like, go get the phone. Go get the phone. Go get the phone. Prove it. Go get the phone. And then Tokyo Tony, she like, Charles, are you afraid of Netta? Are you scared of Netta? And Miss Netta like, no, he not afraid of me. I'm more afraid of him. I said, now come on, Miss Netta. You, me, and them, all of us know that you'll go Hulk smash on Charles real quick. I don't care what you identify, baby. At the end of the day, it look like a man. So Miss Netta also tells the ladies that when they online that everything is basically a skit, but their relationship is real. Then the conversation quickly jumped to Charles and his body count. Baby, he said he had about 30 bodies, and they said men, and he like, nah, women, and that he had only been with one other man besides Miss Netta, but Miss Netta was his first relationship. Now, something Charles said blew Miss Netta's mind, because, baby, that wig almost slipped off of her head, and she started adjusting it and readjusting it and pulling it down. I guess this was her first time hearing about Charles being with another man besides her. But anywho, the conversation quickly jumped to Miss Netta's DMs. Now, Miss Netta did admit that men be in her DMs trying to get at her. But Charles was trying to explain himself and said, oh, he got all the passwords too. And child, as soon as he said that, they start calling him insecure for going through Miss Netta's phone. Now, him and Miss Netta was trying to explain themselves, saying they wasn't insecure. And Charles told her to shut up. And baby, when he did that, it was like World War III began. All the aunties screwed their face up like they smelled somebody farted or something. They was not feeling him telling Miss Netta to shut up. Child, they started instigating and telling Miss Netta that she was being abused by Charles and telling Charles that was abusive. Now, all three of these aunties have a reckless mouth, so I know a ninja then suggested that they shut the up a time or two. Now, I really wasn't shocked or appalled that he told her to shut up. I mean, did y'all not see them black Air Force Ones he was rocking? See, y'all think Charles is slow. Whole time, he just got black Air Force One energy. So while Charles is still trying to get his point across, Miss Netta is letting it be known that she don't shut up, baby. And they asking Charles like, oh, what size shoe you wear? Like, you being abusive, they instigating. And he like, I wear size 13. And Miss Netta like, yeah, I wear size 13 too. I said, she letting y'all know on the low key that she will Hawk smash on his ass. So the aunties start instigating real hard. I mean, they was clacking and clacking back and forth saying that Miss Netta need to watch Charles and Charles trying to get her money. They was saying some of everything, talking all over each other. I could barely keep up. And I tell you one thing, Charles was popping it back. He said, oh, this auntie's podcast, yeah, well, Uncle here too. Y'all talking, I'm talking back. I said, oh, okay, Charles. Did the aunties forget that this was a gay man they was talking to? Baby, that sassiness still on deck. And he was ready to give it to him in Z formation. Now, the aunties was instigating hard, and they was trying to make Miss Netta and Charles feel a little insecure in their relationship. But Charles lost me when they asked him, was he abusive to Miss Netta? Do he put his hands on her? And they said, no, they just talk ish to each other. But they do play slap. Oh, no, baby, we ain't playing no slap around here. The whole conversation just got messier and messier as it went on. And then it got to Charles working. Then they start coming down on Charles for still having a job and said that he had boyfriends at the job. That's why he liked going to the job. I mean, this whole thing was really giving three messy aunties who really don't like your man trying to give you advice on your man at the same time make you feel insecure in your relationship at the same time was a little slightly jealous of you and your man's relationship. Child, I really thought the aunties was gonna be up here giving some good advice with a little kiki on the side. But child, y'all just up here playing in people's face, I see. But we gonna see what's going on next week when the aunties have a couple of the baddies sit down. Let's see how this go. Now I'm gonna need the aunties to pipe down just a little bit. Cause the baddies, child, they gonna crash out for the clout.
Make a psycho, make a traffic psycho.